This was an extremely close match.
Oh man, talk about a close one.
This was an incredibly close match.
That is false.
Season 7, aka the season of the Hellfire year 2020, was such a garbage year that crap might have leaked into the season a bit. And by a bit, I mean some horrendous animation and half the season dedicated to cape crap. Or, as many of you know, the overused comic book characters. A lot of us got pretty sick of it, myself included. Looking at you, Venom versus Crona and Black Canary versus Sindel. But more comics means more stomps, so let's get right into it. I'm Round 1 Fight, and this is Death Battle Season 7, ranked by Stomps.
Hey, I'll say it. Everybody else here's too scared to say it, but I'll just say what everybody's thinking.
We should have gotten Darth Vader versus Obito first. Oh boy, where do I start? Okay, so this ain't exactly SpongeBob versus Aquaman in terms of stompiness, but Kakashi didn't really stack up in the grand scheme of anything. He had a lot of cool tricks and powers, but Obi-Wan had counters and resistances to pretty much all of it, like lightning attacks from the Chidori or Sharingan illusion / precognition. Even Kamui or any other option like that wouldn't have worked when Kenobi was 60,160 times faster, nanoseconds versus 60.96 microseconds. And to juice that up even more, they gave him the chance to use all of his own hacks, like organ crushing, telekinesis, his own precognition, and more reliable energy supplies. Still, power is the really big difference here. Kakashi was put at 18.4 megatons of TNT, which can't bust even the smallest mountain ever, like they said, weirdly enough. Obi-Wan, on the other hand, was scaled to Anakin, a guy above even planet-level Jedi. Even baseline planet level makes Obi-Wan 3.09782687 quadrillion times stronger. He had a pervy ninja whose most famous move is shoving his fingers up your is apparently a fair match.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
So, this one doesn't exactly come to mind as a stomp, but this one is pretty big for the number they claimed. Cable was more versatile, skilled, experienced, all that stuff from a literal war hero, but Booster was faster to an unknown but pretty freaking massive degree. Mr. I kept up with Flash and went to the Mother Hub and Speed Force, and his powers counter or resist all of Cable's, like telepathy or matter manipulation. Or, you know, he could stop time. As for power, the planet level feats both scaled to got roughly 100,000 times distance, with Booster getting the edge, but thanks to a nifty little box in the corner, they debunked star level Cable while also saying Booster gets beyond that thanks to taking hits from godlike Trigon. So Cable is stuck at 112 unitons, and Booster gets to star level and beyond. Just double star level or solar system level roughly makes Booster 1.250 quadrillion times stronger than Cable. And he punches with that much power too thanks to his gloves sharing the same power source.
Leave me alone!
Okay. You guys, remember how the Mega Man Battle Royale went in my rankings? So I have to do each and every comparison for Homelander, Billy, Maeve, so on and so forth, stopping their opponents. I am completely sane. Kicking it off is Evil Superman versus Evil Aquaman, and just like normal Supes and normal Aquaman, it's a horrendous stomp. Homelander was way faster, at least, with the thought that A-Train blitzes deep and Homelander is faster than him. He was more versatile, and he survived a nuke, or is like tougher than those, which falls around 1.5 megatons. And the deep tanks a nifty little 4,699.74 psi. only making him 236,190,855,100 times weaker.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Alright, it appears I'm gonna be stuck here a bit. Same speed stuff as the last one, but Starlight is bulletproof or 25,000 psi. But versus a nuke slash Homelander, she's 21,967,587,850 times weaker.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Still here. Okay, Homelander could keep up with A-Train, and despite him pasting Robin with 436,874 joules, there's the whole nuke thing, so Homelander's 14,332,890,780 times stronger.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Okay, last one for a while. Maeve was more skilled / experienced, but Homelander was way faster. And again, a nuke. She easily tanked a truck smashing right through her. That did not sound right. With 6,379,429 joules, but a nuke is, well, 983,788,649.2 times stronger.
You're making me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry.
Son of a bitch. He stole my line.
Okay, so this is a bit of a stretch to get the number I did, but it'd still be roughly up here nonetheless. Hulk was more experienced, slightly faster, potentially smarter, and his healing factor let him hang in there unless he got DBZ'd. Broly had better battlefield control with key in flight, equal time breaking bullcrap, options for up close like force fields and paralysis, and Hulk would also get forced back into Banner if he was hit hard enough, or just get vaporized with enough raw power, and Broly could definitely not do that. He could outmatch Super Saiyan Gogeta and take a multitude of hits from Gogeta Blue. They say Gogeta Blue is millions of times stronger than Hulk, but it's a wee bit more than that. Firstly, it's brought up that Gogeta by himself is stronger than Goku and Vegeta Blue jumping Broly together, so base Gogeta is at least twice Goku and Vegeta in his Super Saiyan Blue forms. For Blue's multiplier, at the time, everybody believed it was 50,000, which kind of makes sense for Beerus versus Galaxia's results / numbers to be accurate. So I'll just use that even though it's a bit out of the box and technically unfair, but whatever. So base Gogeta is twice that, or 900,000 times universal, and then there's that times 50,000 for Gogeta Blue, making Broly 45 billion times universal, while Hulk was put at 240 times universal thanks to Hyperion. So Broly's about 187,500,000 times stronger. This is of course barring the fact that they got this wrong and have admitted so themselves.
I don't fall apart that easy. Say cheese.
Okay, now that I'm complaining about what we got, but this should have been Genos versus Yamcha, and we should have gotten it way later. For advantages, Genos had nothing. Rhodey, on the other missing hand for Genos, was more experienced and skilled, had hacks and weapons to go intangible/invisible to just dodge Genos or drain his energy outright, and he was also over 3 times faster, had more reliable light speed reaction feats, and was way stronger. Genos could kick back the Elder Centipede with 15.73 megatons or gigatons. I don't know. Assuming it is megatons, that means War Machine, with power to bust through a Manhattan-sized rock, can output 18,215,511.76 times more power. Don't fall apart that easily, my shiny metal ass.
No kidding. I almost fell asleep.
Oh, thank goodness this spit-tastic episode isn't number 1. Sindel was technically 161.1481481 times stronger physically, and she had some pretty good battlefield control with her flight and energy projectiles. Canary has fought stronger people, making the strength advantage pretty much meaningless, was more skilled, easily 60 million times faster, and with the Canary Cry was 1,194,000 times stronger, 597 megatons versus 500 tons of TNT. She also has special memories to protect against sonic screams like Sindel's, so Sindel's strongest weapon didn't do anything. Pointless episode yet again. This is one of the most blessed wins of the entire season, and Beerus won like a champ. Galaxia was more versatile, had a better energy supply, infinite to finite, could theoretically resist Takai, and was 1.513741996 times faster. Beerus had more skill/experience, could use Ultra Instinct to get rid of the speed gap, had plenty of counters to her arsenal, he could resist Takai, like stuff like her destruction, break out dimensional ensnarement, resist starseed removal, and nullify her energy attacks. Beerus was technically given numbers very close to Galaxia in pure mass/calcs, but they did say this was him holding back, and Galaxia was highballed in this instance. Then they say Beerus was still superior to Super Saiyan Blue times Kaioken Goku, which was many times more powerful. But we don't really know how much. Time to pull in outside stuff. Well, not said in the episode, look at Hulk vs. Broly, where, for their numbers to make sense, like I said earlier, Death Battle would have to buy the 50,000 times multiplier for Super Saiyan Blue. Admittedly, this isn't really fair, but it's the closest thing to an answer besides other conclusions that aren't true. So, Beerus was still stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku, making him 9 times 50,000 times 20 Goku, or 9 million times universal, and 1,125,000 times stronger/tougher than Galaxia.
Come on!
Oh!
Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Oh!
No, not again, 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 not again! Billy had weapons/research for all of the 7, and weapons to probably take on Deep regardless, way more tenacity, skill, intelligence, etc., every other advantage that mattered, and he had the threat level the Deep seemingly had to ignore, or he'd be open to anybody else, really. With the Laser Baby, he was 530,639 times stronger than the Deep, 14.1 billion joules /3.369980879.5 tons TNT versus 4,699.74 psi. Deep also wasn't given a speed number, so it's likely he couldn't dodge the hit either.
Oh!
Come on!
Oh!
Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Oh!
Oh, how ironic it is indeed that Billy gets stomped here, but just a season later he was ganging up on Homelander with Soldier Boy, Huey, and jumping him and beating the crap out of him. Yet Maeve somehow did better than them solo when they were triple doing it. Billy had the territory factors, probably said that wrong, intelligence, skill, tenacity, and research on Homelander, but Homelander was faster to an unknown degree, faster than A-Train, who Wiz said could blitz Billy, and 445,106.383 times stronger than the Laser Baby, and would probably pace Billy. 1.5 megatons versus 14.1 billion joules slash 3.369980879 tons of TNT.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Again, we're doing this again. Billy had the whole Terra, I'm not saying that word again, factor thing, weapons to screw over Starlight given his research, and was 49,877.3 times stronger with the Laser Baby, 14.1 billion joules slash 3.3 whatever tons of TNT versus 50,000 PSI. And she also wasn't fast enough to dodge based on the whole A-Train thing.
Lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Introducing Machamp and Goro. Goro was way more experienced, knew a lot of styles Machamp didn't, and was 2.189094533 times faster, Mach 2.79 versus Mach 1.274499551. Machamp was more skilled, weirdly enough, because he knew every fighting style as opposed to just a few. He had counters to Goro's Fire Breath and weapons thanks to Guts and Knockoff, and unlike the episode said, was up to 40,000 times stronger, scaling to the 25-ton nuke from Kintaro for Goro, and megaton level punches from Machamp, which scales to his durability as well because Machamps train and fight together and all that crap.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
We're still going through these. Billy had his training in super killing smarts, more tenacity, naturally being low on A-Train's priorities because of the whole, him being a human thing. And with the Laser Baby, he was 32,201.04414 times stronger and could probably one-shot him. A-Train was faster and could blitz slash steals. A-Train was faster and could blitz slash steal the baby, but Butcher would probably keep that card close to his chest and get it off before getting off himself.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Yes, Billy's training and soup killing stuff, plus the Laser Baby being 2,210.625291 times stronger than her strength slash durability. The goodest of boys won, and that's based. Sabrewulf could amp himself up to help mitigate the stat gaps and was more vicious slash ferocious. Jon was more experienced and skilled, along with having better powers when comparing fire bats to fire anime dragons. He had better control over his monster's side and he can crush in stats. Sabrewulf was put at 1.673 kilotons and nanosecond timing, which usually nets you a few times FTL. Jon was scaled to robot who can cross the galaxy in short time. Now, even if you lowball that trip to a day and cut that number in half like Deathball said, Jon would still be 5,490,565.1920577 times faster, 3.33 times FTL versus 18 million times the speed of light, or half of 36 million times the speed of light. Power is kind of weird since they only gave us a number in tons of how strong anacars could lift, but I'll just use that number as tons of force, which when converted to tons of TNT gets over 3 megatons, and that makes Jon 1,973.439728045 times stronger than Sabrewulf.
Hey! Take your troops and get out!
Oh no, he's hot!
Gray was more versatile, physically up to 69.880672 times faster. Nice. Mach 20,044 versus Lightning Timer, and could win with a lost Ice Shell. Esdeath was similar in reaction speed, generally smarter in combat terms, and was up to 1,669.821429 times stronger. Nice. Again. 56.00199,621 teratons / weakened Urza versus 93.513 petatons as a kind of a low ball. While Gray did have an instant kill via the Lost Ice Shell, Esdeath had the same with Mahatma, which was easier to use, immediate compared to longer casting time, and more versatile in actually using it. Gray could potentially resist it given the whole demon resistances thing, and he had better cold resistances, but her magic was way too strong for it to actually mean anything.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Venom was more versatile with his shape-shifting, camo, invisibility, and numerous symbiote hacks that kept Crona and Ragnarok on their toes. Anime Venom was 1,420 times stronger, 275.55 decibels versus 244.13 decibels, similar in speed or 4.832177147 times faster, Mach 9,708.455 versus Mach 2009.1264267. Physically stronger to an unknown degree and had counters to the symbiote hacks, but Eddie had no counter to sound attacks over 1,000 times stronger than his resistances or the psychic / mad blood properties.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Maeve was more skilled / experienced, presumably faster because of higher soup status and easily 241.6 times tougher than the Deep, 6,379,419 joules versus 4,699.74 psi.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Jake was more skilled, could harm ghosts and apparently ignore the intangibility aspect if the fight's right, and could counter some of Danny's powers. Danny was 17.93516129 times stronger, 555.99 tons of TNT versus 31 tons of TNT, 300 times stronger physically, easily 30 tons versus 400 pounds, and 214.9354839 times stronger / tougher overall, 7.5 kilotons versus 31 tons of TNT. He was similar / better in reaction speed via more consistency in his laser dodging and way higher flight speed, and he had counters to all of Jake's arsenal: ice versus fire, clones versus The other clones, invisibility to counter the senses, etc. While Jake, on the other hand, couldn't resist Danny's possession or the ghostly whale, even though he did in the fight for some reason.
You did it, sir.
I did it?
He did it.
I did it?
He did it.
Leonardo was faster by experience, more skilled such experience, technically, could match Jason's teleporting and heal himself from damage, but not fatal. Jason was 52.1833333 times stronger physically, could compensate for the lower skill with the grid's fighting knowledge, had a more destructive / powerful arsenal, and was 45.745 times stronger / tougher overall. 548.94 tons TNT versus 12 tons TNT. He could also scale far higher via being compared to other Rangers like his successor Rocky.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Maeve was more skilled / experienced, presumably faster because of the higher soup stats thing, and easily 22.566545,639 times stronger. 6,379,419 joules versus 25,000 psi.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Summer server. A-Train was faster and had better / more usable powers, and was 16.58480,746 times stronger than the Deep. 437,874 joules versus 4,699.74 psi.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
A-Train was faster, but Maeve was more skilled / experienced and easily 14.56907,467 times stronger / more durable than his strongest attack.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
Starlight's powers were more versatile and she was more skilled, and 10.6388641 times stronger / more durable. 50,000 versus 4,699.74 psi.
Zuko might have been an admirable bender and adorable fan favorite, but Todoroki's overwhelming ice, versatile defense, and incredible power were just too much to handle.
Zuko aimed for success, but his opponent Shoto put him on ice.
The winner is Shoto Todoroki.
Ironic that this one was wrong at the time. Zuko was faster, physically stronger, more skilled in hand-to-hand, and had more control over his fire. Shoto was stronger to an unknown but implied decent degree, similar enough in speed where it wasn't too bad, and combined with his slagging / boosting skills, made it hard for Zuko to get in close quarters and focus on long range. Zuko was vulnerable to his ice attacks, and Shoto could trap him similarly to Azula, or just freeze his insides if he got his hands on him.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Barbara was smarter, more skilled / experienced, more versatile, and had multiple tools to exploit the symbiote's weaknesses and shut off Gwen's powers because of it. Gwen was 2.137931031 times stronger than the tougher Batsuit, and way stronger than the building-sized blast she barely survived. She was also 3045.454545 times faster, physically stronger, could keep Batgirl on guard with her symbiote powers, and the Spider Sense has helped other Spider people beat/keep up with more skilled fighters like Captain America before.
And after entering an alien temple, Santa, don't question it, increased gravity by 10-fold, and Caboose didn't even notice. I remember a certain Saiyan struggling to do something like that. I mean, I guess this means Caboose is better than Goku.
Why you boring me? I'm right.
The red team had a 90 times speed advantage with Simmons specifically, as well as intelligence in that regard, a better arsenal, similar durability, and plenty of experience with Sarge. The blue team had similar durability, better training/skill/experience, a better vehicle for fighting purposes, tank versus a jeep, and an undefined but notable strength advantage, like how the tank/bomb thing that Tex and Caboose did, and Caboose being far stronger than Tex, who is herself far stronger than the Reds and closest to Sarge. And multiple members that have experience with large-scale groups fight on their own, Tucker, Tex, and Caboose. It's probably a bigger strength gap than Barbara versus Gwen, but that one had a bigger speed gap on the winner's side, and each advantage each team had were mostly on one person's end, not the entire thing.
Plasma coil. If you hadn't noticed, this electric biz is kind of my thing.
Nah, I'm gonna do my own.
You know, it's kind of ironic that I used to hate this one for being wrong in my eyes, but the funny thing is, it's always been right, and now I'm happy because of how Spider-Verse treats Miles now. Gary Sue looking bud. Miles was physically stronger, and his Venom sting was pretty effective on foes like Virgil. Static was 2.205 times stronger, had around equal speed scaling, and his techniques that Miles couldn't stop or counter, shield, power draining, healing through energy shielding, bioelectric aura displacement, invisibility negation, and a lot of which you can do in one hit, and pretty much all of it was useful in heavily screwing over Miles.
Huh?
Both Wally and Sonic were equal in speeds of FU. Wally was 52.619928 trillion times stronger than base Sonic, 2.630996640 neotons versus 5 teratons, and 8,888,501.351 times stronger than Super/Hypersonic in raw, destructive power, even though that's not really the case for most of it. At their best, Wally was likely over 2 times stronger, one half of a far larger multiversal level of power versus multiversal on Sonic's end, and Sonic was invincible, plus he could replenish his soul and speed. Wally had more feats of incalculable speed, a consistent power advantage, and numerous counters to Sonic's arsenal. He could steal Sonic's energy to remain faster over their power boosts, phase through his attacks and wishes, likely resist something like a Super Genesis Wave even though it likely wouldn't be applicable, time travel to bypass the super form's durations, wait them out via higher stamina and ability usage regardless, vibrate to the 4th dimension to go untouchable to Sonic, control his own molecules to prevent transmutation, and break fate in better ways with more concrete reasoning. Basically, even speed, but Wally has better arguments to be faster, he should be stronger by at least 2, and he basically hacks Stomps.
Come on! Bonnie, how do you keep getting back in?
I'm a drunk. I don't know nothing about how I do anything. Whoa!
How are you still here? Oh boy. Starlight was more skilled/versatile, but A-Train was faster, 1.548934775 times stronger/tougher, and he beat her pretty easily before, so the same is probably going to happen here.
That's what power really looks like.
Alright, now to the really close ones. Shira was pretty versatile and stronger by experience, though they did say Diana pulling the Earth was comparable, and if we pull numbers from Cable versus Booster Gold and divvy it up, that's pretty true, there's barely any difference. Diana, on the other hand, was far more experienced and had more effective weaponry / versatility in what mattered, like how she could one-shot with that one sword that slices atoms, and she was at least 9 billion times faster comparing their feats, means she could put her superior experience and weaponry to the test to mitigate the strength gap. Sanji was 52.13675214 times stronger than Lee in the 6th gate, and 2.83720930 times stronger than Lee in the 7th gate. In the 8th, however, Lee was 32,786,885.25 times stronger and could easily kill him. Sanji, on the other hand, was at least 52 times faster than that, a stronger form than Lee's barely dodging light versus Sanji scaling to Luffy, who is at least 13 times FTL in base, and his faster raid suit on top of all of that. And the raid suit plus his observation hockey helped him get around Lee's other tricks and outlast the eventually fatal 8th gate.
Closed.
Just so you know, I totally called this being the number 1 back in my Season 5 rank by Stomps. Both were even in arsenal, tenacity, and speed. Jason was stealthier, if that's a word, and had his Venom, which we'll get to later. Bucky had more / better experience. His arm was tougher than Jason's helmet, even though that's not 1-to-1 at all, and he was stronger / tougher than normal Jason by about 10 times, until the Venom came out. This made them even across the board in stat aspects, making them pretty much identical across that field, with Jason having stealth and Bucky experience and tougher armor where it mattered. The only difference than where that was concerned was that Venom was a brief power-up compared to the permanent Infinity formula. Basically, they are about even at their best, but Bucky had the skill to deal with Jason's stealth, the already existing and permanent stats to hang with his Venom, and the arm, which he couldn't shut down or stop, and since Bucky was more skilled, a fight where they were even would probably go to him anyway.
This is Agent Barnes. Target eliminated. Moving on.